OMG, notice something. 11.97 seconds is my best time from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour, which is very impressive and fast. Superb. This is the Renault Duster most people will buy because this Duster is more attractively priced as it's powered by a smaller 1 litre petrol engine. It's hot. But the Duster 1 litre isn't available in top variants. Firstly, the Duster is available in 6 variants: Authentic, Evolution, Techno, Techno Plus, Iconic and Iconic Launch Edition. But the top 3 variants aren't available with the 1 litre engine and are reserved for the 1.3 litre engine. Thus, the Duster 1 litre is available in 3 variants. Prices start at Rs 12.42 lakhs. Meanwhile, this is the top variant of the 1 litre, which is the Techno, priced at Rs 15.93 lakhs on road Mumbai. That is actually good pricing, but there is no automatic in the 1 litre, and since this is a low variant, it misses out on a lot of kit. But before I show you what all is missing here, let me show you this awesome car perfume from Involve Your Senses. This is the Involve Joker car perfume spray, and it is awesome. It's an official DC Comics merchandise which comes with these hanging Joker cards on which you spray the Joker car perfume twice for a wild and edgy fragrance. You can simply hang these cards here for a great smell and striking design of the villain. Get yours by clicking on the top right corner of the screen right now. Use coupon code FASTBEAM for a 10% discount or get it instantly on Blinkit by simply going to Blinkit and order it. 10 minutes mein aa jata hai. Kya bolte ho tum log? Coming back to the Duster, this 1 litre Techno variant misses out on ADAS, front parking sensors, side parking sensors, 10.25-inch TFT instrument cluster. Instead, you get a 7-inch unit, leatherette seats, powered front seats, manual lumbar adjustment, built-in Google, acoustic windshield, PM 2.5 air filter with ionizer, AQI display, 360-degree parking camera with 3D view, front seat ventilation, ambient lighting, drive modes with customization profiles, Archimedes auditorium sound system. Instead, you get the Archimedes classic sound system here. Rain sensing wipers, dual tone colors and 18-inch alloy wheels. Instead, you get 17 inches here. Also, you get brown and wood finish on the dashboard and doors instead of leatherette and carbon accents. So yes, quite a bit of equipment is missing here, but you do get a panoramic sunroof, full LED lights, 10.25-inch touchscreen infotainment system and a powered tailgate. But features are secondary. Does the 1 litre engine have enough juice to dust the competition? Well, let's give it the beans. Okay, let's turn on the car. Start. Yeah, it starts. A lot of pause to start the car, but first things first, air conditioning off. Notice there's some vibrations I can feel on the steering wheel. Not much on the gear lever, but I can feel vibrations on the pedals as well. That's because 3-cylinder traction control off into first gear, handbrake down, hazard lights off, revving the motor, revs all the way till 6,000 RPM, and off we go. Lot of wheel spin. Oh, upshift also at wheel spins. Yeah, actually the motor revs quite fast, but the road is not big enough for me to hit 100 kilometers per hour, which is kind of disappointing. Anyways, this engine is the 1 litre, which also powers the Kiger, but everything is different here. There's nothing common with the Kiger other than the fact that it has the same block, because the flywheel is new, the ECU is new, the gearing is new, the clutch is new. I mean, almost everything is new here. The wiring is also new, the tuning is new, so they have done a fantastic job. So in the city, it's very tractable, surprisingly. Yeah, very tractable motor in the city because there's good amount of grunt lower down, doesn't have turbo lag. In fact, this has better drivability than the 1.3 litre engine in the city because it is so nice and punchy, beautifully tuned. A huge surprise here. I didn't expect Renault to tune this engine so well, but they have done a phenomenal job. You can definitely consider the 1 litre engine. It's that freaking good. because it drives really well. Yeah, it's punchy, it's fun, and because it's a manual, obviously it is super duper nice as well. The only thing here is that the clutch is fantastic, but the gearbox is quite notchy, not the smoothest in terms of shifts, so that's a bit of a problem. Otherwise, it's a phenomenal driving experience here in spite of the smaller capacity 999cc 3-cylinder petrol engine, which obviously has some vibrations. You can feel the vibrations on the, what is that, my buck? What wheels is that? Wow, Thali. So yeah, so I was saying the problem here is that when you're shifting really fast or driving fast, you can feel there is some amount of notchiness in the gearbox, but it pulls and it wheel spins with traction control on as well, because traction control automatically turns off at 50 kilometers per hour when you turn it off. So I can't turn it off right now because I'm above 50 kilometers per hour. This engine, good surprise. In fact, it makes its peak power of 99 horsepower or 100 PS at 5000 RPM, which is actually lower than competition. Meanwhile, the torque output, which happens to be 166 Newton meters, comes in at a low 2000 RPM, and that's one of the major reasons why this engine is so freaking punchy, peppy and nice. However, competition obviously produces its peak torque at a much higher RPM. So this engine is almost there with Hyundai's 1-litre GDI engine or even Volkswagen's 1-litre TSI engine. It's that freaking good. The only thing is that past 80 kilometers per hour, it starts to struggle a bit. So it has been geared in a way that it performs well in 1, 2, 3 with rather relatively snappier performance, and then 4th, 5th, 6th, it's not that snappy, because of which highway performance is not the best. But trust me on this engine really will surprise you. It doesn't feel underpowered one bit. The turbo sings its song and makes you enjoy the car thoroughly. That's how good it is. Yeah, what a phenomenal engine. I never expected that, honestly. I am pleasantly surprised here. It's that freaking awesome. So we're going to time the car, obviously, to see how fast it goes from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour. Traction control off into first gear, revving the motor, hazard lights off, and off we go. Oh, beautiful launch, wheel spins at upshift, traction control on light. Notification obviously hides the tachometer, which is a bit of a problem, and that's 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in 12.6 seconds, which ain't bad considering the 1.3 litre engine, which has 163 horsepower and 280 Newton meters of torque in the manual, goes from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in 9.7 seconds. So that's like 3 seconds faster, but this is not disappointing at all. Impressive performance. Actually, I'm pleasantly surprised how good this engine is. But what I'm not happy with is this instrument cluster. What is this instrument cluster? 7-inch unit. Looks so bad. Where is the tachometer? It's here. Can't see it properly. And then if I press this button, I can hide the tachometer. I don't know why. Then I can obviously get into a lot of data, which tells me the navigation, eco monitor, tire pressure, distance to empty, and what's the real-time fuel efficiency or overall fuel efficiency, which is 4 kilometers per litre, which is bad. So I'm just going to come to this mode of the cluster. Yeah, I don't like the cluster here. And then it has this topi on top. I don't know why. Maybe to reduce glares and this empty space, which Volkswagen Skoda had pioneered with the earlier, or rather still the current generation of the Slavia as well as the Virtus. The facelift will obviously get rid of that, because that's what's happened with the Taycan and the Kushaq. Anyways, let's launch it again to see if I can go any faster still. Traction control off into first gear, revving the motor. Actually, after 5000 RPM, there is no performance as such, because the peak of the power is right below 5000 RPM. Mid-range is really nice, and that's 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in 12.73 seconds. So I'm not really going faster still. That's a bit disappointing. But what's not disappointing is the braking performance. At 110 kilometers per hour, I stand on the brakes, superb stopping power, absolutely phenomenal. Oh, lovely, yeah, superb. So let's time it yet again. No, not superb, this is Duster, but let's go. This time I didn't turn off traction control, so it bogged down. So traction control has to be turned off. I don't know why it turns on automatically at 50 kilometers per hour. And off we go. Oh my god, that's a superb launch. Into second. Come on, come on, come on. This stupid traction control on notification comes right in between, hiding the tachometer. Short shift into fourth. Not really in the peak of the power band, but 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in 13 seconds. So yeah, that obviously slows down the car by shifting another gear. So I think third is fine to reach 100 kilometers per hour, but it is what it is. Beautiful. lovely. I never expected. Okay, I'm saying it like 100 times, but you get the gist. Handling is superb. Absolutely amazing handling. This car loves the corners. It is so fun to drive. The steering is nice, well weighed. The ride is actually good, even better than the car I drove earlier because it has got 17-inch wheels, same 225 width tires, but this is 60 profile. The higher variants, which have 18-inch wheels, have 55 profile tires. In the 1 liter, you do not get 18-inch wheels at all, which means ride quality is also superb here because of the additional sidewall. Yeah, understeer happening in plenty, but it picks up pace. It's fun to drive. Body control is superb. Handling is nice. Brakes are nice. Ride is superb. Absolutely stunning ride quality here. Everything is very impressive. It's just that the engine has vibrations, and the fact that beyond the vibrations there's no top end here as such. So yeah, it just feels sluggish post 5000 rpm, but it's a joy to drive this car. Feels glued to the road. So much grip here. Amazing, superb, absolutely mind-blowing. Wow, Renault, you have won my heart today. Now let me show you something very interesting. So I'm off into first and I do like 10 kilometers per hour, shift into second, I do 20 kilometers per hour, and I shift into third. It's quite tractable in third. Yeah, it's able to pick up pace effortlessly in third. So from around 20 kilometers per hour in third, let's see where do we reach. I think we reach around 103 kilometers per hour. That's the level of tractability of this motor. Yeah, that's 20 to 103 in one gear. Okay, 107. Wow, absolutely crazy. You know what is the problem I faced with this car? I reversed very fast actually. So I had put it into reverse and the camera was on, and at 30 kilometers per hour, it turns off the camera in reverse. That's kind of weird. And there's an eco mode here, which now when activated, obviously will change the map to make the car more efficient. And talking about efficiency, I think the claim number is 19.41 kilometers per liter, which is the best from the Duster lineup till the hybrid obviously comes in, because in the real world you can expect around 10 to 12 kilometers per liter in the city when you drive it steadily, stretching to almost 15 kilometers per liter out on the highway, which is actually very good fuel economy. Meanwhile, the next most frugal one is the 1.3 liter turbo DCT, and the turbo manual is the least efficient of the lot. Surprising actually, the manual should be quite efficient. Okay, DCT is always very efficient. The DCT doesn't let you launch the car. Now that's a bit of a problem. They program it to ensure that the box does not blow away. So that's one thing you have to keep in mind. This is underpinned by the RGMP platform, which is actually the reason for the magic here. The Renault Group modular platform, fantastic. The platform here is the reason why you would buy the Duster. It feels robust, it feels rugged, but there's no all-wheel drive. Power is channeled to the front wheels, which is kind of stupid considering the Duster had all-wheel drive before, and with all-wheel drive, this car would have really made a huge difference. But yeah, Renault's like, no, we don't want to give diesel either or all-wheel drive. Diesel is dead, which I don't agree, because the sales of this car would be triple if the K9K diesel engine was plonked here. Because with the K9K diesel engine, which was 110 horsepower and around 240 to 50 Newton meters of torque, performance would be great, torque rush would be fantastic, and the mileage would be 20 kilometers per liter. That is mind-blowing to say the least. Now I'm going to test the car from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in Eco Drive mode to see how fast it is. Traction control off, we reset this. Hazard lights off, into first gear, revving the motor, rev still 6000 rpm, and off we go. Wheel spin in plenty, into second gear, come on. Yeah, this car actually shifts from second to third smoothly, but feels notchy in other parts of the rev range when shifting gears, that is. And that's 0 to 100 km per hour in 13.45 seconds. So yes, it is slower by around 1 second or so, or maybe 0.7 of a second, which ain't bad for eco mode. So we come out of eco mode. Yeah, at least it has some modes, because they have removed steering modes, which is there with the 1.3 liter engine, because this engine is available in the lower 3 variants. In fact, the base variant is only available with this engine, and the high variants are only available with the 1.3 liter engine, and now they're going to come up with another mid variant of the 1.3 with the automatic, because there's no automatic here, and they're like, if you want an automatic, you can simply pay more and get the 1.3 liter engine with the automatic. But if there's demand, they will get an automatic here as well. Which one will they get? The CVT, which obviously is powering or is used in the Kiger, but I don't think that's going to work well, and that's what Renault also thinks is not going to work well, and that's the reason they have not actually gone ahead and put the CVT. See, traction control light blinks, you have to turn off the traction control to launch it. At least you can turn off the traction control, unlike Tata cars where you can't do that. So like I was telling you, the good thing here is that in spite of the smaller capacity engine, performance is very, very, very impressive. But I don't understand, what kind of world do we live in where we don't get ventilated seats because we get a panoramic sunroof? We could have given us a regular single pane sunroof and given us ventilated seats, but Renault's like, no, confirm this car is going to sell because of the sunroof. Honestly, this car will sell only because of its dynamics, which are absolutely mind-blowing. High-speed stability is also nice. Okay, there's some body roll when coming across a corner, you can feel it, but it feels so rugged, nice and glued to the road. It's absolutely mind-blowing. It doesn't scare you at all. Just stays so freaking tight down. What a wonderful chassis. This deserves an even more powerful engine than the 1.3 litre one. Maybe the hybrid will impress there. An interesting thing to note is you can actually change the colors here, which is kind of cool. So I'm just going to put orange because I think that would look quite nice. And when I come out of this menu, I realize that they have some interesting thing here. Where is it? In settings or what? Yeah, it can, I mean, the UI is not good. Yeah, I don't enjoy the UI here because it feels a bit confusing of how they have done things. So I come into dynamic chassis, which kind of shows me a few things here. Anyways, now I have to come back because I have to turn off traction control. They could have just given a button. Why create so much confusion? Vehicle, come on. Oh my goodness. Woo. The French are not good with ergonomics or ease of use. Okay, at least I just have to go up browsing it and then I can probably do it into first gear. Yeah, it shows me this compass and this, you know, how much is the roly-poly happening there. Revving the motor and off we go. Oh, yes, into second. Come on, come on, come on. You got this. Oh, into third. Meanwhile, just do the wiper test because I can. Front and rear wipers both work really well here. That's 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in 13 seconds. So yeah, I think that's sort of the ballpark figure here. Now, it has a 50 litre fuel tank, which is the same as other cars in the segment, sort of, almost there. Some cars have lower, but I think 50 is good enough. Meanwhile, Renault's like, okay, short shift from third to fifth, I'm kind of weird. Renault's like, if customers are not ready for DCT, we will bring in a CVT, but it obviously depends on customer demand. They probably have tested a CVT with this particular engine in the Duster and it didn't really perform that well. So they kind of dropped the idea, but if customers demand, they will get it. And if they get it, the price would be the exact same as the same variant car, 1.3 litre turbo manual. For the DCT, there's a premium which is much bigger, rupees 1.75 lakhs, which is considerable premium because obviously DCT is an expensive gearbox. They could have given paddle shifters. There are no paddle shifters here, which is weird. Horn is decent actually. Yeah, Renault has decent horns. European horns are good. I can't say the same about Asian horns. Come on. Oh. Yeah, I know you guys are like, why don't you compare it with the Tata Sierra? Well, the Sierra is an impressive car as well. So I'll compare it since you guys are asking me anyways. How many times will a person launch a car? Well, I will multiple times because I enjoy this engine somehow. It's kind of weird. Time to launch again, traction control off into first gear. Come on. Oh yeah, see, this is where it becomes kind of notchy. So leave the clutch and try to engage again. Yeah, there it does, because sometimes it gets confused between reverse and first. Anyways, hazard lights off, revving the motor, and off we go. Oh yes. Come on now, moment of truth. Come on, come on, come on, come on, Duster. Where's the power? 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in 12.14 seconds. That's superb, that's superb. Well done. So that's like under 2.5 seconds slower when compared to the 1.3 litre engine model, which is very, very, very impressive. But this car's engine is more than just outright acceleration. It's the tractability and the drivability where it absolutely excels. And that's one of the major reasons why I really am impressed by this engine. I earlier thought that Renault was only giving us the 1.3 litre turbo engine to drive because they were like, 1 litre is very bad. Why to give it to people to experience it? But they actually have thrown a very big surprise by giving an engine to this car which is actually quite good. So in spite of smaller capacity, these engines are really punching very hard. What is not punching hard is the air conditioning here, because when you're driving in stop-go traffic now, the AC is not very effective. You have to rev the motor hard to really give the AC a bit of a push to cool faster. And honestly, the issue is not like what was there with the earlier Kushaq, because there it used to cut off. Here it's not cutting off, it's just not that effective. And on the website now, one of the features missing in this car is my safety switch, and I was wondering what it could be. It's basically a switch here using which you can turn off all the ADAS features in one go. That's nice. This car doesn't have ADAS obviously, so it doesn't really matter, but 17 ADAS features in the higher variants. So as I see it, well, this engine is actually a surprise package. Who said that good things can't come in small packages? Because here the Duster is out to prove that even small things can have the punch as long as it has, what do I call it, forced induction, or I was going to call it an inhaler, but whatever. Now when you're in higher gear now, you realize that engine struggles a bit doesn't pull that hard. So you have to really downshift to get going fast. So out on the highway, because of the small capacity, if you really want to make a quick overtake, just downshift and whack open the throttle. Obviously, the more or the harder you drive it, the more it's going to sip fuel, because that's how turbocharged engines work. But overall, it's a fantastic engine, manual gearbox, but the lack of automatic is going to hurt the sales of this car, making people actually opt for the turbo DCT, which obviously costs a lot more money. Renault's strategy here is very smart. You can't fool the French. The French can fool you with the way they have actually made the variant lineup here superb. This car is going to eat up into sub 4 meter cars because of the way it has been priced, and the pricing is the most impressive part, because earlier I thought pricing is attractive because the engine doesn't have grunt, but the engine is actually quite nice here. Wow, we have three fantastic 3-cylinder 1-liter turbocharged petrol engines which actually pack in quite a punch, and when you drive on such roads, no problem at all. Ride is impressive. I mean, this whole driving experience has really surprised me today. This 1-liter engine doesn't impress much in the Kiger, but here it definitely impresses because of the changes which have been done to the powertrain. Some kit is missing here, but you do get the full Duster experience because the 1-liter engine costs rupees 1.24 lakhs less than the 1.3 engine model. But if you want an automatic, or if you want more features in your Duster, you have no option but to get the 1.3-liter engine model. However, those looking to buy sub 4 meter UVs, this Duster 1-liter is actually a great alternative to those smaller cars, because this is obviously bigger in terms of size and also has way better ride and handling balance. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you check out this awesome car perfume from Involve Your Senses, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel because a comparison of this car with this one is going to be coming real soon. Bye bye.